Hola, buenas tardes a todos y a todas. Decir unas palabras de agradecimiento al comité organizador de este congreso. Muchísimas gracias por darme la oportunidad de participar un año más y, por supuesto, trasladaros el agradecimiento por organizar congresos de este tipo. Bueno, sin más preámbulos y rápidamente, que tengo muy poquito tiempo, voy a compartir unas diapositivas para mi ponencia y cambio el idioma, ¿vale? Que lo voy a hacer en inglés. Well, so the title of my paper is Identity, Gender Violence and Traumatic Experiences in Chiclet and Say Genres. Yes, I would like to offer here an index so you can see the different points I'm going to talk about. As a way of introduction, saying that, well, it is more than evident that diverse topics concerning women have remained invisible throughout centuries in the whole globe. But if we think consciously in Ireland, in the way in which some things such as gender violence, abortion, infertility, inequality, disability and women, divorce and women's rights in general have been dealt with, the intention of making them invisible has even been more noticeable. This paper has the pretension of offering a brief study of some contemporary novels belonging to very popular Irish women authors like Maeve Binchy, Emily Pine and Marian Keyes, and other new female literary voices such as Rosalind McDonough, who write actively about all this, making use of Chiclet and essay genres. These Irish writers present different protagonists who firstly refuse themselves within the silence which oppresses them, keeping it in secret in order to get free at a later stage of that state of shame and fear. In this way, the female characters, or even the own authors, Pine and McDonough, research strongly being able of telling their hard and real stories towards a state of transformation and resistance that leads them to change their lives and identity. So, taking all this into consideration, I would like to emphasize that my main intention through this paper is demonstrating how some literary genres, such as essays and Chiclet, are used by some contemporary Irish women writers who make their own female and feminist activism through literature. Well, regarding Chiclet, we're going to talk about This Charming Man by Marian Keyes, published in 2008, and Wider Woods by Maeve Binchy, published in 2006. With respect to, or within the category of essay, we're going to talk about Emily Pine's Notes to Self, and Rosalind McDonough's Unsettled, publishing just a couple of years ago. Well, we have to say that we can see throughout all these four works some topics related to melancholy subjects, abject subjects, traumatized subjects, and we can also see subjects in process, looking for a new identity. These are all the different types of subjects the reader can find while reading any of these selected works. Well, it's very important for me to make a brief stop regarding trauma, okay, because it's an important point we are going to talk about throughout the whole paper. Well, Kathy Carroll defines trauma as an overwhelming experience of sudden or catastrophic events in which the response to the event occurs in the often delayed, uncontrolled, repetitive appearance of hallucinations and other intrusive phenomena. We could say that the hidden traumatic experience cannot be understood in the moment in which it occurs, and this is exactly in the same way that these things happens with the characters appearing in Maeve Binchy and Marinke's novels. And also, this is something that happened as well regarding the experiences narrated by Emily Pine and Rosalind McDonough. In all these works, we could say that trauma, as I have already said, is present. Also, gender violence in all the different categories, physical, sexual, and psychological, are presented. And regarding all the kind of traumatic experiences, we could say, we could mention the ones that to Emily Pines make reference to, like not being able of having a baby, suffer a miscarriage, also the theme of infertility. There are also some critics on some Irish laws related to women's rights when they are pregnant, for example. And finally, regarding the last work in here, the one by Rosalind McDonough, we could say that she deals with trauma, disability, inequality, also some critics on some Irish laws related to women's rights. In this occasion, especially they are affecting disabled women, as Rosalind McDonough is. And also the concept of identity in general terms, and concretely the idea of the search of a new identity, as well as the retransmission of a final positive message of strength and courage for overcoming the problems and traumatic experiences these characters and authors have lived with, are present in these four works selected here. Well, due to the lack of time for reading different quotations I have prepared, I would like you to try to read them while I'm talking about some different aspects regarding every single work. Well, with respect to this one, The Whiter Woods by Maeve Binchy, there are 4 cases of violence against women, including sexual, psychological, and physical violence. I showed here some quotations where we can say, for example, I will read this last one about Claire's. She says, I was both proud and ashamed when I was a schoolgirl, proud that I was able to stay out of my uncle's messy clutches, and ashamed because I came from a family that wouldn't look after me, but left me to fight my own battles against things I didn't understand. Well, this charming man, this second work, treated now, this one offers a lot of cases of violence against women. The greatest difference between this work and Maeve Binchy's is that the situations of abuse of women are mostly perpetrated by the same aggressor, who is given a full name, Paddy de Courcy. He is an attractive and an arrogant Irish politician who hides behind a very kind image, a despicable anti-feminist and abuser. In this novel, there are also some other cases of this kind of violence carried out by other abusers, but these ones are less relevant. The most important ones are the cases suffered by 3 female protagonists called Grace, Marnie, and Lola. They have something in common, and is that they have been keeping a very deep, dark secret, which is the misfortune of having suffered gender violence at the hands of someone that they believe to be a charming man, as the title makes reference. A man who has now become a prestigious Irish politician that everybody admires and that everybody thinks to be a charming man. Well, and regarding Notes to Self by Emily Pine, we could say that Pine is more than honest in this collection of essays, concretely 6 she published 5 years ago. speaking powerfully from her painful personal experience on some social taboos about female pain and traumas regarding sexual violence, menstrual blood, the way young women use their bodies as a weapon about themselves, and the grief of miscarriage and infertility. The following quotes are found in the second essay that she entitled "From the Baby Years." Like, I don't have time for reading all them. I would like just to say that through this second essay, what the author pretends to do, and she really gets doing it, is that well, she expresses how she feels when she tries to get pregnant and the first complications appears. She will begin even question herself if all these efforts worth her wish for being a mother. Moreover, Emily Pine tells in detail all the difficulties she finds and how she and her partner suffer when doctors notice that something goes wrong when she finally becomes pregnant. After a very hard medical process, she finally suffers a miscarriage. So in some of these quotations, she deeply criticizes Irish constitution due to the unfair treatment and no consideration at all that women suffer because of the information about what is happening inside their bodies is rejected. Well, the final paragraphs belonging to the essay "From the Baby Years" offer a positive message and even a feminist one, due to she learns how to appreciate her body and to stop mistaking femininity for weakness. So though she is she has already accepted that she cannot be a mother because all the different problems she has about concerning infertility, she learns how to accept that that's the way it is, and that doesn't mean that she still has to appreciate her body and to stop mistaking femininity for weakness, we could say, just in the case that she cannot be a mother. And finally, the last work we are going to talk about is Unsettled by Rosalind McDonough, published in 2021. As a curiosity, I have to say that I knew about this author, thanks to Emily Pine, who talked about her and this book during a conference she offers last year at the University of Granada, in an event organized by my friend and admired colleague Pilar Villar. Well, this collection of essays where McDonough clearly opens herself to share all her fears, worries, and traumatic experiences being a traveler and a woman with an impairment. According to Pine, this collection of essays is moving and eloquent. It is the story of one woman's life and a work of a profound literary activism. There are some quotes about sexual abuses she suffers in the hands of the care workers and the terrible consequences that these events have upon her. She keeps these abuses in silence for not worrying her family, but after a time she cannot stand all this pressure, the suffering and trauma, and she decides to commit suicide. She tries and she fails. She will start then with therapy sessions which continue along her life. Inside this collection there is an essay that is entitled Shame, that is the quotation you've got right now on the screen. And this essay reflects the deep suffering the author has had during all her life, firstly because of her disability, the sexual abuses she suffers, and how all this becomes a serious trauma on her. This essay is in the middle of the book and summarizes in a perfect way how she feels, as you can see and as you can read throughout this quotation. Well, as a way of, as conclusions, we could say that there is a literary female activism in Irish contemporary literature written, particularly in the literary genres we have seen, both the chick lit genre and essay, deal with serious and current problems concerning women. They share two very important objectives. First, being able to demonstrate that these genres mustn't be catalogued as the ones dealing only with superficial topics about friendship, shopping, romantic comedy stories. And secondly, that female authors of the stature of Maeve Binchy, Marinkes, and Emily Pine, or even new women writers becoming popular, such as the case of the last author shown here, Rosalind McDonough, feel the necessity to report what other women, Irish or not, and even themselves, have suffered the consequences of being treated from inequality, being gender violence victims, or simply not being listened to, not being their experiences, lives, and feelings considered as important enough as being dealt with. This has happened along the time, and unfortunately it still do. That's why telling stories about these topics in the third person, as in Binch's and Kate's novels, or in the first one, as Pine and MacDonald do through their essays, give women in general, and all the female writers in particular, the strength and courage of joining their voices to change some much needed aspects of today's society. Well, this has been all. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you so much again to all of you. Thank you.